Well, it's rainy and kind of gross out, but I got a shoot today so that I have something to release this week. So we're gonna head to Queens, go someplace inside. Today, let's go check out the former TWA Terminal at JFK Airport, which is now the TWA Hotel. If you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. So let's head over to Queens. Let's go. So what we haven't talked about is the trip getting to JFK for me is about an hour and 10 minutes. So that's what you're missing out on right now. So now we're going to transfer to the AirTrain. This is Jamaica. This is one of the Long Island Railroad stations. I actually just got back from Thanksgiving travel yesterday. We flew into LaGuardia. So it feels strange to be going to the airport today and not going anywhere. We're here at JFK Terminal 5. So the TWA Hotel is over there. We walked over, got a look at the back. Now we're walking back around, going through the front. I think we've got to go outside to do that, but that's okay. This is all out in the weather. It's under construction. Maybe there's going to be a better way to get there at some point. As we'll see when we get inside, there are two passageways that are enclosed, and those used to go out to where people could get on the planes. Now they just go into Terminal 5, but I don't know where they go into Terminal 5, so I figured I'd come this way because I know how to get in. Maybe we'll see where they are later. Just like that, we're back in the 1960s. I'm finally dry, but I'm gonna walk back out of the parking lot so we can get a shot of the front of this. So let's get wet one more time. So this is what's called the Headhouse of the original TWA Flight Center here at John F. Kennedy Airport. Here's a model of what it used to look like. This is originally the TWA Flight Center, which was designed by architect Eero Saarinen, and it was completed in 1962. So what makes it a hotel now is there are two flanking buildings. You can see one of them in the background over there. The other one's on this side. Those were completed in 2019, and they have a total of 512 rooms. Conference space here, as you saw, there's a little bit of an aviation museum. It's pretty cool, and it's very 60s. That architect's work also includes places such as the Dulles National Airport's main terminal, the Vivian Beaumont Theater in Lincoln Center, which we've seen. Check out that episode if you haven't seen it. And the famous Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. So this airport, originally known as the New York International Airport, also known as Idlwilde Airport, was renamed the John F. Kennedy Airport in 1963 after his assassination. So Transcontinental and Western Airlines, or TWA, signed a lease with the airport's operator, the Port Authority of New York, in 1949. And this airport had the highest international airport traffic of any airport globally in 1954. So in 1955, the Port of New York announced a $60 million plan to renovate Idlwilde Airport. The major airlines like TWA, which at that point had been renamed Trans World Airlines, and Pan Am would get their own terminals, and smaller airlines would be served from the central main terminal. So Pan Am and TWA were assigned spaces on either side of the international terminal, and this is where TWA's was. The Pan Am terminal, also known as Worldport, was on the other side of the main terminal. It was also an architectural beauty, but it was torn down in 2014. This was the main terminal building, but to accommodate wider body aircraft and to expand the airport, they built what they called flight wings, which were basically extensions out onto the tarmac. We saw them in the model over there. They're not here anymore because they built the new Terminal 5 where those were. Part of what's left, and you can see over there, we can walk out through those in just a minute, but they led to the flight wings, and there were two of them, one on this side and one off of this side. So this terminal was completely overcrowded by the 1980s, and passengers sometimes had to line up outside to wait for their flights. TWA also had to deal with other external elements. After a series of bombings and hijackings in the mid-1980s, TWA had to step up their security measures here at the terminal. They implemented more stringent bag checks, they hired more security, and they actually were one of the first airports to start using X-rays to check bags. Right here. So when there started to be questions about the usefulness of this anymore, the New York Landmarks Commission designated this as a landmark in 1994. So in all that time, TWA was kind of failing. And then after the 1996 crash of TWA Flight 800, TWA sold its assets to American Airlines in 2001, which briefly operated out of this terminal. But then it became clear that this terminal was not modern enough to handle modern airline traffic. It was essentially functionally outdated. One of the big problems is there weren't really any good places to put security checkpoints in here. Like a bunch of other terminals that were designed before the advent of jumbo jets and increased passenger security, this terminal was hard to update as air travel changed. So in December 2005, they started construction on the new Terminal 5 over there, which is the JetBlue terminal. And that new terminal kind of circles around this old terminal. So that new terminal opened in 2008, and then it was expanded in 2014. And as of this year, they're in the middle of a renovation. In that time, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey was still trying to figure out what to do with this place. They decided they wanted to turn it into a hotel, and then had to find people that wanted to run it. This hotel opened in 2019, and this Headhouse that we're in now has been part of that hotel ever since. When this airport opened, it included many innovations for airports at the time, including closed circuit television, a central public address system, moving baggage carousels, schedule boards, and then gates that were distant from the main terminal. The ticket counters and baggage claim were placed at ground level right by the entrance to maximize convenience for the passengers. And then, like I said, those two passageways led off to the gates. So let's go down and walk through one of the passageways. You may recognize these passageways from Catch Me If You Can. So halfway down the passageways leads off into the buildings that are on the side that have all the rooms in them. Also off the end of these flight wings, you've got these little museum areas. The one on this side has to do with the architect. This is pretty cool. It's like a museum, but you can walk through all this. Out the window, you can also see the classic plane that's there. I believe it's a Constellation. So the cool thing about that is I'm pretty sure that in better weather and better months of the year, that's actually part of the bar, and you can get a drink and go sit in the plane, I think. It's very cool to see there though, regardless. So you can see the other walkway over there, and over at the end of that, I know there's another little museum kind of thing. So let's walk back around and go to that one. I read that originally he wanted these passageways to have moving platforms on either side, but then to save money, they ended up getting rid of that and just leaving it as a walkway. Confirmed by the sign, it is a Constellation. So the tag down here says this is Jack Fry's desk. It was one of the presidents of TWA, but all the stuff in here has to do with Howard Hughes. So I'm not sure if this is representing Howard Hughes' office or Jack Fry's, but it probably says somewhere here. Here's the door where you can go out to the airplane. The airplane they call Connie. You've seen a bunch of the stuff on the walls about that particular plane and how it was saved and brought here. Hey look, the travel poster for St. Louis has the arch that the same architect did. This place is really neat. It's worth coming by and checking out if you ever have a chance. But I think I've seen all that I can see right now. So let's start the journey back. Like the only thing that's out of place here is all the modern cars. Otherwise, totally 1960. I just came down to this end to see this car. Now we actually got to go that way, so let's walk back. TWA Hotel, and now I'm getting wet again. Let's get across the street over here. I'm back up to the east side and it's still raining. A nice trip, a neat building. It's like a time capsule. It's even like a time machine. It's pretty cool. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the rest of the episodes already available on Up to the East Side on YouTube. Like and subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and look for new episodes every Friday. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. I'll see you next time.